For this relatively monochromatic butterfly piece, I'm going to mask just parts of the butterfly, so not the flowers, because I think that can be left much more abstract. So this is the drawing, and I'll be masking just some of the lightest lines and some key areas so that I know where to put things later. For the background inking for the butterfly, I've selected a whole range of colors between yellow and orange. And they are the Sunshine, Dandelion, Lemonade, Sunset Orange, Valencia, and Peach Bellini. And I'm going to just make a mottled pattern, and I'll probably pick it up and have a little bit of flow in it. I've also got some alcohol here in this applicator bottle in case I need to enhance the flow. And I'm going to let it dry. So this is our dried background, and I'm going to start by popping in the flowers, I think, instead of the butterfly. And I'm going to just use a marker and draw in where some of these petals go. And I'll start with this flower, and then I'll see how much I want to do around it after I do this flower. So this is a yellow marker, and I'm just going to kind of sketch. Use the brush and begin lifting. And I'm lifting the ones in the back because they'll be the lightest. I'm going to put our two oranges in the weld palette, the Valencia and the Sunset Orange. And we'll start brushing them in. And this is the Sunshine Yellow. I'm going to add in the first layer for the stem with the meadow. Use the pointy swab with some alcohol to kind of lift and define petals. I'd like to put in the dandelion over some of these very lightest petals. I want to get some of this orange out. This is the dandelion. Try some of this Valencia that's been sitting in the palette and see if it's a little bit darker and thicker. This is some bottle. So at this point, before I continue to work on the flower, I'm going to add in some of these other flowers and just see how our flower looks in relationship to those. And I'm going to do that by lifting. I'm actually going to use the regular cotton swab for that. And I don't really like that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and use the canned air and start with some alcohol and just make a more tangly type background. While we still have the masking fluid on the butterfly, this is a great time to experiment. I'm going to drop a little bit of yellow. And I'm using the cotton ball to pick off some of the watery elements, I think, that are from the canned air. So I'd like to just continue a little bit more and blend out these lines. So the result is a super abstract flower we've got behind this butterfly. And I think I'm going to go ahead and work on the butterfly and see if that flower will work over the long haul, because it has a chance and we might as well not wreck it now if we don't need to. So I'm going to pull off the masking fluid. I'm going to start adding in some of the browns for the butterfly, and this is ginger. This lower wing of the butterfly has lots of little white lines, and while I'll try to go around them, it will be more likely that I'll use the white pen for those. This is teak wood for some of the darker spots. And this is sandal for some of the lighter spots. This is the Valencia for some of the orange. I'm going to use the sepia pen now and tighten up our butterfly a little bit. I'm going to use the two browns and dab in a little bit more darker colors, and then start using the cotton swab to lift them back out again, because there's kind of a modelly texture in here that I think will get better by lifting, but I need something to lift first. So this is the pointy swab and alcohol, and I'm just going to try to get some texture and just variations of color. It'll often also soften some of these lines. And I'll do the same for this lower wing. I think I need a little more color in these spots that I lifted out. So this is one of the yellow shades. So that might be a little much. Go around these spots with that yellow. And this is some brown. I need to kind of blend in this bottom part of the butterfly. This is the sunset orange. I'm gonna get a little more orange dabbed through here. Well, I usually wait for the black and white pen for the very end. I'm going to put them in now because I think they're key elements to seeing what I've got going on with the butterfly, especially that white pen. And this is the white pen. So I need to add some darker values in the browns through some of these areas. So I'm going to use the ginger, I think, to start with. And if that's not dark enough, then we'll go to either the teak wood or the espresso. But this is the ginger. And do a little lifting. And some more fine lines with the black pen. So now I have an issue in that I have two parts of the painting that I like that don't really match each other very much. So I have a highly detailed butterfly with a very, very abstract flower. And while I like each of them on their own very much, I think that for the good of the painting as a whole, they're going to have to come closer together. So I don't mind a major amount of abstraction in the background, but there has to be something to tie this butterfly in. So this is a common problem, I think, with some of the more realistic aspects of ink painting, and it causes one to have to give up something that they loved. So I recommend at this stage taking a photograph in case we never see it again, and then moving forward. So I think that the part that needs to change is going to be the flower, and I would like to figure out just the minimal amount of detail I need to put in it so that the butterfly is not completely sticking out as much as it is. So I pulled out two markers, a dark green one and an orange one. And I'm going to start with the base of the flower and just bring in a little bit more detail to that. And this is the orange marker. This is a brown marker. I'm going to take some of the bottled meadow and run it through that area I just used the marker on. And this is the pointy swab with alcohol. There's some highlights in here. And actually I think that there should be more orange coming through, so I'm going to pull it down a little bit. I'm going to have to dab back in some orange. This is the sunset orange. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to have to refix that with the marker again. And I'm going to add a little bit of it into these petals here. Back to the marker for a second. This is the Valencia. I'm going to add a couple more petals through here, just very lightly. So I think I'm going to just add in the antennae and decide that we've done enough bridging the gap between the abstract and the not so abstract. So I think it needs a little more reach out to this side. Just add a little bit more. I think I'll call it good here.